so glad that you guys are here. Wow, Kitty is also really excited for Vlogmas, aren't you? She's like, no, let me down. I'm out of here. Hey, so I am headed out to see a pumping test. Oh, hold on, camera. Okay, so that was our commissioning manager. So anyway, they've tested the pump at its full capacity in the factory, and it was witness tested, and they got all of the set points to develop the pump curve based off of that testing that they did at the factory. So basically what we're doing on site is testing more of the design, because we know that the pump works by itself, but we want to make sure that the head conditions of, the canal and the reservoir and everything works really well with the pumps. So we're doing a functional test, which is the pump by itself, and it's a 3-hour test where you turn on the pump and you run it and you take vibration tests and gather a lot of data points at the different flow rates. So that's what I'm going out to see, and I will see you out there. I just had to kick it into 4-wheel drive to make it into the parking spot. So we will see how easy it is for me to get out. Oh, this is not my hard hat. This is really big. Oh, this is what I'm gonna have to get out of. Ugh. I feel really bad for whoever has to clean this truck. I know, you see me almost going to the canal there? I wasn't sure if I was supposed to turn into that one or not. So Greg said to go up to the standpipe.
You want to go up there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I just have to unlock the cage, right?
Probably. Yep, you're good.
Okay, so this is a flume. Basically, there's a creek that runs down underneath this. So this flume transports or conveys the water over the top of the creek in this canal. It's also got a transducer in it, which is an instrument to measure flow. Or actually, it's an instrument to measure how much water, the height of water that's in the flume. We've also got instrumentation to measure flow across the flume, which is very accurate flow reading. So I'm coming over, not really for the flume, but because they're building this bridge next to it, and I want to get some pictures of the bridge. Oh my gosh, look at how much mud is on my shoes. That's so much. So, flume, bridge, canal, truck structure down at the other side of the canal. So I'm going to grab some pictures of it and then walk back. I figured it was easier to walk than to slip slide in the truck and then try to find parking that's not in the way of big trucks that are going around here. So my shoes are like 5 extra pounds each with all this mud stuck to the bottom. Okay, and that's that. That's a wrap. Oh, turned off the pump, turned all the valves into a different mode. So a different amount of water going a different place. The different modes. There's a bunch of them. And I am going to slide on back to the construction trailer to get some work done before we have a going away lunch for the project manager. So that is my day on site. Bye. Hey guys, happy Vlogmas. It's day 20 today, and I wanted to talk about tips you can do when you're on an interview. My first tip is to be a little bit nerdy. You know, if there's a way to intertwine something that you're very passionate about and geek out a little bit with it, I would highly encourage that, because even if the person interviewing you doesn't identify with nerd culture, or you know, maybe you're like deep into sci-fi and they don't like sci-fi, they can see the passion come out through your excitement, and they'll be able to see your authentic self sort of come out and shine. And so I think that it is way okay to start nerding out about something during an interview. And typically for a STEM position, the people interviewing you are not HR. You might have to do like a phone conversation with HR prior to the interview with whoever would be your supervisor, whoever's trying to hire you or fill a position. And so their chances are they have something that they geek out about too, and they might be interested in why you're interested in it. So if you can find something to be a little bit nerdy about, definitely do it. My other tip for interviews is a little contradictory. So you want to be able to be a jack of all trades, right? Coming up as an entry level or an intern, you're there to learn, you're there to experiment with what you're good at, what you're bad at, to try to figure out how the business works and how projects work and how everything is set up. And so you want to be open to learning new possibilities, but I think, at least for engineering, that you have a little bit of an advantage if there's something that you want to do. So if you know that you really like a certain technology, you know, maybe you're really into water filtration, or maybe you're really into conveyance and hydraulics, and that's very specific, but maybe there's something, you know, maybe you're just into water, so you've got a degree in civil engineering and you're into water, you're into transportation. That having a little bit of an interest or specialty in it will set you apart. So as an entry level, you know, they're going to put up the job rec and it's going to have all the requirements, schooling, GPA, that you have a visa or, you know, live in that country, all these different requirements, and a lot of people will meet them, but they'll have in their mind what projects they want you to be on or want their new hire to be involved with. And if it's, you know, water and conveyance project, hydraulics and hydrology, and you had said you're interested in water and learning more about the water industry, and they had in their mind that you were going to be working on water projects anyway, that makes you a better fit than somebody who says, hey, I want to learn a lot, but they don't have any specialty, they don't have any interest in anything. They say, well, they want to learn a lot, but they don't seem passionate about what this company has projects available in that they need help with. So knowing a little bit about what you want to do, I think, sets you apart from the other entry levels. But at the same time, you don't want to have something very specific that you only want to work on, and then they say, hey, we don't have any water projects, this is all transportation, or, you know, we don't have any transportation planning projects, it's all transportation design. Then you would do yourself a disservice, I think, if you had said that you only wanted to work in one thing and it's not what they have. So yeah, do a lot of research on the company and what the position is, and if you can figure out what exactly they're hiring for, what sorts of projects they have beforehand, so you can research it and you can be able to speak from something, and I think it'll set you apart from some of the other people that would be interviewing for the same position. So it's difficult to get a entry-level job with an engineering company with no experience, and everybody going in has no experience. All you have are your grades, and everyone's grades are so different, and you know, some people took this class and it was much harder than people who took the same class at a different school that was easier, but they had harder classes. And so grades just aren't really useful for telling what type of candidate you are. And so from, you know, me being in an engineering background, what I've noticed is the interviews that I've gone on, we haven't talked about schoolwork. I mean, we've nerded out about certain things. We've talked about college culture, you know, being in a Greek life versus independence. I've talked about, I talked about scrapbooking once, and how that was a hobby of mine. But nobody ever asked me about my classes unless they're like, you know, who was a teacher that you really enjoyed, because they also went to that school and they had the same teachers. So it's more of I guess a personality interview, which they're trying to get away from a little bit, because if your personality clicks, it could just be because you're very similar backgrounds. And so in order to try to be more inclusive and have bigger diversity of people who are also talented, they try to get away from doing the personality hires, but at the same time they want to hire somebody that they're going to be comfortable with, they're going to, you know, enjoy seeing every day. They might not have the exact same things in common, but would be a good fit, you know, to use the word that they are trying not to use. So yeah, when I've gone in, it's just been you talking to a bunch of people, trying to see what projects they have, them trying to see what sort of projects you're interested in, and then can you have a conversation? You know, are you able to sit down and write something up, not just do the technical, really hardcore like modeling or calculations or design, but also able to put together a package for bidding, put together a technical memo outlining to a client that maybe isn't in a STEM field what it is that you've done. And so they want to make sure that you're, you know, well-rounded, especially as an entry level. They've got, you know, the ability to pick whoever from all these different universities, and you know, nobody has experience, or maybe you have an internship experience. But yeah, so setting yourself apart a little bit, being real chill during the interview, and then if you understand how offices work, so how to use a copier and a fax, which is through email, and you know what you can go to the admin for help with, or how to just get lunches ordered in, or how to, you know, use Outlook and set up meeting invites, and put things on your Google Calendar, and you know, and use some of the Microsoft Teams, or some of the other programs that they might be using. SharePoint, knowing your way around SharePoint, because every company uses SharePoint for I don't know why, but everyone uses SharePoint and it's frustrating. So if you know how to use SharePoint and you're comfortable with being in an office setting and using office programs, I think it'll go a long way for you being able to relax during the interview, because that's not just another unknown. You've, you know, watched YouTube videos about it or asked your friends to show you what they do in their jobs. And so that when you go into that internship interview or that very first interview, you have a level of comfort. And then I think it's easier to be authentic and be able to connect with them and talk about stuff that is important, if you're not like uncomfortable and nervous and, you know, having weird tics that you're doing, or, you know, who knows what you do. So yeah, those are my 3 tips for today. Be comfortable in the office, so that you can be authentic. Try not to specialize too much, but have something that you're interested in, and you know, that you've researched the company about. That's very important. And then also being nerdy about something, so it's okay to be nerdy. Yeah, so that's my my Vlogmas for today. I'm in another hotel. This one is a Hyatt, and it's actually kind of cool because the Hyatt houses on the same paintings. So this is one that was over my bed in New Orleans for like 6 months when I was there. So that one I know. Let's see, I'm on the 4th floor in Houston. Ooh. I wonder what's out there. Oh, you guys aren't going to be able to see anything. There's just a swimming pool over there.